Well, good
Afternoon
evening.
or evening,
Yeah, I guess it depends on,
where you are.
there you are, where your state of mind. So I'm gonna say good evening, Marge is gonna say
Good afternoon.
good afternoon. And
What do you
welcome,
want me to say? Why don't you just tell me the name of it?
welcome back to Living the Dream. So we thought we would do
Couple of reviews.
a couple of reviews, and we're gonna split them up into two separate videos, because some of you are kayak folks, and then we're gonna be doing a video on our Berna HD Pepperball launchers, and that will be probably uploaded tomorrow evening, which most likely will be Sunday. But tonight's video is gonna focus around our Oru kayak, and we are going to call it the Oru
Review.
review. Yeah. So we actually had the chance to take the Oru, which is the model Haven, Haven. We took it out to the Weeki Wachee River on Friday.
Friday.
We did try to go kayaking with the Taylor Travels on a Sunday, and parking was non-existent. So we wound up renting. You saw that Weeki Wachee kayak video, you probably saw that. And we thought with the lack of comfort level with that kayak, if that was going to be kayaking in general, there would be a Haven for sale at the end of our driveway very shortly. Or even free to a good home, possibly. So we got there about 9:30 in the morning, which was our plan, and we were able to get parking
Right in the front row.
in the front row. So it was $10 for a 24-hour pass, which we thought was awesome. And we launched right from their kayak launch site. We're not up on the aquatic terms yet, or the boating terms, so please feel free to leave a comment down below and correct me
Yeah,
on
help us
what
out.
I'm saying or not saying. We'll discuss that momentarily with some of my commands with regards to steering the aforementioned Oru Haven kayak. So anyway, we got there, and we were actually able to assemble this kayak in about
Probably about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah. So we picked a shady spot on the grass, because one of the things that we were concerned with is about rough surfacing the bottom of that, even though it's a very heavy plastic, and it's very well made. The 2021 changes were significant from the 2020, so there are some refurbished 2020s and older on the Oru website. And these kayaks are actually available in a lot of different places as well. Locally, I think, we're gonna even see them on Amazon, possibly, maybe not the Haven model, but certainly the same style. So we put it together, and what we did this time was a little bit more preparation, right? And I think they say if you're gonna cut a tree down, and it takes 11 hours, make the first 10 hours
Planning.
sharpening the axe, right? And that really is important. And when we went out with the Taylor's Travels, no fault of theirs, we were in a rush. And you've heard me say, and even in that hurricane video, when I refer to my hurricane Bible, when you do things in a rush, it never works out well, and it didn't work out well. So we left some things behind, some very important things like water, et cetera. So this time we had
Sunscreen, bug spray.
sunscreen, yeah. So we had planned the trip a little bit better this time,
Mhm.
and did some preparation the night before.
We actually brought a couple of small thermoses of coffee. We brought several, I think 4 bottles of water. You don't feel the heat as much because you're on the water, but it's still Florida and it's still 90 degrees.
Yeah, Margaret Bailey and Stewart actually said that you'll burn more energy than you actually feel or know. So even the 4 bottles of water was not enough. Not enough. So we're making plans as we go, and it's like anything new. Don't be afraid to make mistakes out there, and don't be afraid to ask for help and accept help. As long as criticism is constructive, it does help us, get better and grow into better kayakers, I guess. So with our life vests, our foghorn, our whistles, our knives, all the things that the gentleman at River Sports told us that we needed, and Lonnie from Taylor's Travels confirmed that most of it, if not all of it, is necessary, by Coast Guard rules and just simple safety rules, right? Not having someone tell me what I need to be safe, but having those items on board in case we do, go in the drink, which didn't happen, thank God. But what we had decided was there's a lot of stuff to carry if you want the trip to be safe, fun, and done well, for lack of better
Like
words.
this, yeah.
So we had located one of our, and I'm gonna let you speak to this, is it a mattress? Not a mattress?
Oh, no, it's, when you purchase like a bed set or a comforter set, they usually come in those big plastic bags, and they have a little handle on them. So we stuck our life preservers in there,
I think they're life vests.
Life
Preserver, I
vests.
think, is the thing they throw you.
I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
The things we put
Again,
around our neck.
leave a comment, because we're not even
Yeah,
sure
'cause
what
we
we're
don't-
wearing.
We don't know, but whatever it is that we need, so I don't drown, because I don't swim well. And then we got a couple of dry bags, so this way, we need our phones for working, other items that we don't wanna get wet. And we decided it was easier to each have one, so we each have our own. And then we brought a little cooler, and that was where the water, coffee, and, what else did we put in there? Oh, we
Some
brought some,
snacks.
like pineapple,
Yeah, some snacks and
stuff to
pineapple.
give you a little energy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we planned it much better. I don't think there was anything we forgot or,
No, it worked out
that we
pretty well,
needed.
so,
We were
when we
pretty
got
good.
parked, and so now we're carrying 2 separate dry bags, a 41-pound fold-up kayak, 2 sets of oars, and a, what?
oh, and then
Did I
the
say a
bag
cooler
with
and
all
a
the,
big bag?
all the stuff in it. And we were able to, after we folded up the kayak, there's straps that go around it, allows you to carry it, kind of almost like a half a backpack. We put the oars in there, break them down in half, tuck them in there,
Yeah.
just made it a lot easier, because they're not, they're kind of cumbersome to carry, regardless. But
And you look
sticking them in
weird
there,
walking across the parking lot with a paddle. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
it fits in there because the rest of the people are doing the same, but we wanted to work a little bit smarter, not harder, right? So we got the kayak, which was folded up into a large briefcase size, and we found a nice shady spot on some grass, like I said, because I was concerned about a rough surface, not doing it on the concrete or the tarmac, et cetera. And we were able to snap it together pretty quickly. The one issue that we had is that the back seat, or stern, seat that I use, I put in the wrong spot. So I was literally sitting,
with his knees under his chin.
yeah, under my chin and probably my feet and
Right up my rear
Margie's,
end.
nether. So we looked at it and we thought maybe we had the floorboards in incorrect, and I did not notice in my rushing that we just missed a spot. So we simply were able to move the seat back to the correct spot. So one of the cool things about this kayak, and we got lots of compliments on the water and a lot of questions.
Lot
So
of
if
questions,
anyone
yeah.
from OLE is watching, I think you always. put
Yeah,
that.
we're open
Yeah.
for some,
Yeah.
little commission.
Not only did we spend time explaining the kayak to folks, but at one point, we were in a rearward slide with the current that took us back about a half mile. So we didn't feel like we wanted to leave the guy and the girl that were talking to us. So in any event, we got it all put together. It's got some front and rear handles. You'll see in the description a little bit later when I post the specs. So we carried it right over, and our launch this time was 1,000% better.
I did not fall,
Nor did I, in or out.
in
of
or
the
out,
kayak.
and we looked
Yeah.
almost graceful.
We did. We were actually complimented by
We
a
just
gentleman
planned a
who was
little
teaching
better.
his son, and said, wow, you guys must be doing this for quite a while, and of course we said yes. We didn't lie to him. But anyway, the ramp was a lot easier to get into than the dock
Oh,
at the
God,
Weekly
for
Lecture
sure.
Kayak Shop. No disrespect to them, they got a great setup. But this is just walk in, get a little bit of ankle water, step into the kayak, and you're off. So
Yeah, I
it
mean, you
went
can walk
really
out,
well.
what, a good 5-10 feet?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it kind of allows you to get in now a little easier. The dock, the way they had it set up for the rentals, I think it would be okay if you were like 20. But it was a little hard for him and I getting in and out, and then we found out the Taylors had a little rough time getting out as well, so.
yeah. We'll talk about that. I think they're gonna be doing their unboxing videos, so jump over to
Oh,
Taylor's
yeah.
Travels and we won't,
They got a new
nah,
kayak.
we won't let them in.
Well,
Well, they already know.
just-
Good point. So anyway, we took off. We did about 2 miles out against the current and then 2 miles back, and we had a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure if I am effectively communicating well or Marge is just ignoring me. But my commands for, right rudder and
Yeah,
all
we
the
can't
head
just
steer.
stick with left and right.
Yeah.
Hard left, hard right.
Sometimes it was
Easy
not-
left, easy right.
Right, it was not
all it
received
takes.
well, so we did run into
I don't
the
wanna have to sit
seawall.
there and think which port and what starboard. It's just, we're not in a boat, we're just in a kayak.
I did as a boat. So we did hit a seawall twice, because of someone's disregard for my commands. Hard to port, hard to starboard. And then we beached ourselves.
But he's not even sure what that means.
And you're gonna see in the pictures that I'm gonna post, that this kayak is 16 feet 1 inch long from bow to stern.
16 feet, 1 inch.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially in some of the areas we were. For example, we didn't really beach ourselves, but there was an area where it was extremely shallow,
We
as
certainly,
if the.
we certainly did.
We
beach
did,
ourselves.
but it's almost like the sand just came out and it didn't dip like the rest of the river. And you're almost on top of it
Right.
before you see it. I'm talking about the sand. So that was, and the next thing you know, we're stuck
Beached,
on it.
but
So,
still moving, not
yeah,
crazy
not-
beach, but still
You just
moving.
feel it underneath.
So one of the things that's a concern is because there's so much bow or forward off this kayak, I can't see it. So any adjustments, and again, folks, comment, shoot me a Facebook message for those of you who don't wanna comment on the YouTube channel. But it doesn't easy steer the way our motorcycles do. And we talked about that as we were
Nor
unbeaching
does it
ourselves.
stop or slow
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. So one of the things that we came up with was Margie's just gonna continue to be propulsion, and I will help with that, and I will do all the steering as I guess I should be in the back of the kayak.
We did
So
a
it was a good
little-
learning
Yeah,
experience.
we did a little bit of a training session as we were
On
on the
beaching.
last half mile, where we kinda figured it out, how to kinda gently turn whatever side you wanna go easy, you just kind of graze the top of the water as opposed to going deep to go the other way. It's.
Yeah, but
so
I
we
think
kinda-
really
I think we gotta figure it out.
the biggest thing is it's a timing issue. Meaning, when you're going into a 90-degree turn, it just doesn't turn like your car or your motorcycle. And again, those of you who have that experience know this, we did not.
Right. Well,
So,
going
you know.
up, we're going against a current, so we're not being propelled as quickly. Coming back, we thought, oh, this is gonna be easy, but it moves you a lot quicker coming back.
Yeah.
So we have to kinda get used to that and get used to what to do to make it move slow.
And
or-
when, and
Right.
what's our timing? And those of you who motorcycle or, do something that involves timing and feeling, you know what we're talking about, right? There's a time to stick that oar in the water and begin your turn, or you're press and lean on a motorcycle, et cetera. So this is all new to us, and we love it, because it's always cool to be in that uncomfortable zone when you're trying something new, as long as you're not run over by several of the large boats
Yeah,
that were.
we're big boats.
Yeah, they were.
But everybody was good. I'm pretty sure they can probably tell that we're kinda new at it.
We looked at,
Um,
especially when we were into the seawall. So just to tell you real quick, how new we look, at one point, about 2 miles out, we had decided to make our U-turn and head back to port, or the launching dock area, because I had to get on the radio show. It took us probably a good 2 additional hours to get this thing turned around to go the other way. We did at one point consider just floating backwards, although we were facing north, we would be floating south, but we opted not to do that. And again, because this bow is so long and can't be seen, when I began to make what I thought would be a perfect turn, we wound up in the shrubbery. Bring back a shrubbery. We are the Knights who say knee. So we finally got it turned around, and we were happy that most of the people on the river had a good job. But they were all good about it. So I discussed with Lonnie last night, one of the things that's a little bit disappointing, I guess, is the lack of vehicular etiquette on the river.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
It's a free-for-all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of kids, and I don't think they
Yeah.
understand. Does that work?
It could be. Yep.
Shall I check? Okay, sorry for the interruption.
So a slight interruption there with the phone.
Your friend. My
I forgot what we were talking about.
phone.
The lack of etiquette on,
Oh,
on
etiquette,
the
yeah.
waterway.
A lot of
Yeah,
kids
so-
there just going like crazy, you know.
And it would seem to be just, a lot of that cutting people off and bumping into people would be at least minimized if going one way you stayed on one side of the water and going the other way you stayed on the other side. Now, that may be the rule. I know there's something with the buoys and the lights and so forth. There's none of that on the river. So again, help us out, educate us as you can. Today is phone day. Wow. Now you get a
Seriously?
little bit of experience on what we go through pretty much every single moment of every day.
So, you're still on etiquette?
Yes. On etiquette. So all that went well, and we're kind of figuring it out, and like I said, most people are really nice, and when you bump into them or push them off, they're pretty good. So getting out of the water went very well. No tip overs, no falls. We picked up a couple of tips from talking to some folks on how to wedge your oar or paddle into the water and hold it against the boat, and we actually attached a couple of ropes to this kayak so that Marge, who gets out first, could actually hold it and kind of hang on to it, and so on. So we actually did pretty well. We were excited. We folded up that kayak in about 5 minutes. So one of the things that's recommended.
It took us 3 hours to extract.
It did. Yeah, one of the things that's recommended is to dry the kayak as much as you can inside and out. So we brought a couple of towels and we were gonna do that, and Marge actually can speak to her really awesome suggestion.
It was awesome.
It was.
I just thought, and this would be providing you have the room to do this, but it's hot. We're in Florida, and I just thought we'll just fold it up. We'll dump whatever water's in out of it, fold it up, get it home, open it up out on our lanai or wherever. You could really do it anywhere, just to really give it that additional time to really dry up. Because you don't want it getting all nasty and it could get mildewy if it's
Yeah, and there are
something
some
up in
marine
there.
sprays you can buy if it gets mildewy and so on and so forth, but it was a really good idea. It's been out overnight and,
And we're gonna put it back together so we can adjust the backs, so we know where we want the backrest to be and how we want the seats to be. Cause it's kinda hard when you're trying to do that, when you're on the water and you're moving all over it, it throws the other person off.
yeah, this
So-
thing's 33 inches wide, but boy, you can feel it. Yep. So we're gonna end it here. As always, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Any comments and likes that you
Questions?
guys leave really do help the channel grow. We're up to 45 subscribers now. Who you are, we have no idea, but we appreciate it. We actually have 2 new subscribers, and that was the young couple that we gave the Oru lecture to on the Wekiwachi River. So welcome. If I knew your name, I'd say hello, but I don't. But you know who you are, because you got me heading downstream and made me paddle upstream even more. So we will see you shortly with that Byrna Home Defense Pepperball launcher video. So let's continue to live that dream.